Is Facebook's, the United States regulators, and central bank, as well as the United States government, secret weapon? Got a couple thoughts I want to share with you. Let's talk about it. I just wanted to take a quick minute, do a quick rant, get some thoughts off my chest real quick. Had a chance to read through the paper that was released today by David Marcus, which is one of the financial executives for Facebook, former PayPal guy, real interconnected in this whole digital transformation period that that's been thrown our way. But I got a couple of thoughts I want to share and how it looks like there's no coincidence in the midst of this restructuring of our monetary system. So every little bit of news that hits mainstream to me are all clues adding up to a much greater and bigger picture. But yet, why is it that Facebook, having announced their project, originally called Libra, about 2-3 years ago, they had a great idea on how to disrupt things, but yet within that time frame there, the United States regulators as well as other governments felt that that was a little bit too much. And so they wanted to change away from the dollar, but they didn't want it in the way that the Libra project, which was basically going to be a multi-basket of different currencies and whatnot, as well as other things in there, offering stability as well as all the benefits of the blockchain stuff, provide interoperability, remittance of payments, and all those benefits that the current monetary system is lacking right now. But yet, it was shot down. And here we are 3 years later, and just as of today, a news report came out. David Marcus did some interviewing saying...
I want to talk about stablecoins. The last time I think we saw you on this program, we were talking about all this in the context of something called Libra. I know it's been renamed, but tell us and really just provide an update, if you could, about where Facebook stands and where you stand now on what this project is supposed to be.
That the Diem digital wallet, i.e. Novi or Novi, is basically ready. And so they went from wanting a basket of currencies to now, in order to operate and comply with all the regulations here in the U.S., basically creating a stable coin. And as I read through that entire stream there, the first thing jumped out in my mind was, what changed? Why now? Is the U.S. government, as well as all those interconnected, deep state individuals, are they using Facebook, or was Facebook always a part of the equation on helping basically give the Federal Reserve note, aka the dollar, an extended lifeline of support by basically using Facebook, which has access to approximately 2.85 billion active users right now. And then, of course, within this country here, there's about 235 million active wallets or active accounts right now. And then, of course, reading through the paper, you get to hear the whole spiel as to how this is all going to be beneficial. So ultimately, they're looking to create a stable coin, the Diem signal, 3 waves USD. And in my personal opinion, this will be the last version of a stable coin that will be used before we get to the ultimate end game of the Federal Reserve CBDC down the line. But I think that this US Diem project is going to be used strategically. So as of right now, all it takes is a flick of a switch, as well as some KYC, some AML, all the paperwork process of setting up an actual banking account. So ultimately, 235 million active users will have instant access to dollars. And so the 62 million individuals they say that are unbanked will also have immediate access. And so this not only makes the banking sector obsolete, but also you factor in with this digital wallet, it's being advertised as being something to offer the unbanked and to provide everybody an even playing field to be able to enjoy in the prosperity of this country, all those key buzzwords they like to sell people with. But then also, eventually it's going to enter into the digital asset space, i.e. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, all those players at some point, which will open up the floodgates of opportunity for those who are participating in that space there, while all being used as, in my opinion, possibly a countermeasure to the digital yuan. And so we know right now, with all the activity happening in China, the digital yuan is being rolled out at a very high pace within the Asian region, and every nation that will do business with China in the future will have to use the digital yuan more than likely. But then here's a secret weapon that the U.S. might be looking to use, or was always a part of the plan, is that Facebook also has access to 2.85 billion individuals. And so as I read through that little white paper type of ordeal that David Marcus put together, he basically did a good job trying to sell it as to why it's going to be beneficial And he's basically mentioned this current monetary system and the financial structure. It's old. It needs to be revamped. It's been 50 years since we've had any innovative technology. But ultimately, each country at some point down the line will have a stable currency, a stable coin in their own currency, i.e. a CBDC. And basically what the David Marcus mentioned in this whole little white thread is that all the surveillance mechanisms that the central bank digital currencies will have, they already have that ready. And so ultimately programmable currency, they will be able to track, trace, and monitor all your activity from their digital wallet. And the details are very skimpy right now, but ultimately what I believe is if you have a Facebook account, to the far left of the page at some point, the Novi digital wallet will pop up as a feature for you to use on the browser. And then also they're going to have an external app as well. But ultimately, the goal is to provide liquidity immediately for as many people as possible, i.e. the banking model. So this basically makes all the old conventional banking models obsolete. And then you factor in, if this is rolled out in the next couple of months and pretty much everybody here, all 50 states, they get all the regulatory aspects taken care of from the 50 states in this country here, it's good to say then, right then and there, Facebook would be able to inject currency right into the people's wallets, i.e. being funneled through the United States Treasury, i.e. the Federal Reserve themselves. And so that will be an instant tool that's already deployable. It's already ready to go. And so I think by them rolling this out right now in this particular time is a direct counter blow to the digital yuan, because the digital yuan is already being used heavily in that region, but yet all it takes is a flick of a switch, as well as some other nations jumping on board. And then the United States government, aka the dollar, will be able to be bought a little bit more time as the reserve currency, because people will have access to dollars in real time and all the other benefits they're trying to sell. But then, to end this off real quick, just want to share my two thoughts on how we're being led strictly towards a digital slaughter, as I would say, because all these options here are centrally controlled creations, whether it be the CBDC from the Federal Reserve, the MIT project, and all those other things, whether it be Facebook, using their apps. And then, of course, in the near future, they're going to have some type of interoperable ability of all currencies connecting together. But then you have this decentralized space. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, whatever it is, to float your boat, are also available as well. But the big question is, how will all these alternatives exist in this current environment where they're looking to really reset things? Something has to give. And that's why I never really banked solely on the fact that the decentralized space is something that will be able to withstand the test of time in the days ahead, just because in this digital revolution, there's no coincidences. All this digital stuff, while it's being sold as an opportunity for people, in the short term, it definitely is. But in the long run, there's no way the CBDCs, as well as all these, privatized networks like the Diem project, will be able to succeed. So something has to give. And do you really think that the bankers have put 200 years in enslaving humanity through the currency creation in its various forms to all of a sudden let it go right now? I don't know. I'm just a skeptic, but just something to consider. And that's why I always institute the importance of, as an insurance policy to everything you're doing, get your weight up. Make sure you got your weight as your anchor to hold you down if you're going to dip and dabble in these digital blips on a screen, just because at some point we're expecting some type of cyber event in the near couple weeks, months, give or take. And all it takes also is the flick of a switch, the power goes out, and all that digital stuff, even your bank account, all the promises, future promises to pay, your portfolios, you name it, you might not be able to see nothing on your screen at some point. So just something to consider there. But I think that this whole Diem project is going to be used by the United States government as a weapon, as a tool to counter what's happening with the digital yuan. Curious to hear what your thoughts are. Of course, there's more I can talk about this, but I want to keep this short as possible and just provide a little context to what's going on. But in the comment section, share your thoughts. I'm curious to hear what you think. Will this Diem project through Facebook in collaboration with the government as well as the central bank in America here be used as a temporary dollar life extender before the whole CBDC stuff is rolled out officially? Curious to hear what you guys think. Leave a comment down below. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts. Thanks.